So this is a very clickbaity title, but it's all true. I am giving up crochet. Yeah, the past few months I've been very busy, and the thought of doing crochet, it kind of like stresses me out, and that's not a thing that should happen when you have a hobby. Like, a hobby is something to make you feel happy and, like, I guess, wind down and relax after a long day. It's meant to be fun, and then the thought of crochet now is just no. It's been like a slow build up. I didn't just wake up like yesterday and be like, I hate crochet. It's been like a really, really slow build up of the past few months. It's all stemmed from, I think, I was doing some bunting, and you think, yeah, bunting, like, that's easy, it's bunting. And there was one row / round that was a legit actual paragraph, and what? So when I'm knitting or crocheting, on the rows I put a sticky note for each row so I know where I'm at. With this paragraph, I had to like put a pencil on each section of the paragraph to track where I was. And then even then I messed up. And then I kind of like had a moment and just was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to do this pattern. Because I tried a few times, it was stressful, I couldn't keep track, and it's a bloody paragraph. So yeah, I just kind of thought, I'm not doing this pattern anymore. I actually put the pattern in the recycle bin. No, it's gone out of my life. That's how stressful it is. So now I was like, yeah, amigurumi, that's still fun. And Christmas was coming up, so I bought this amazing kit from Make Me Raw. And it's basically 12 days of Christmas. And it's the like quite big dolls, and it's 12 days of Christmas. I even asked my mum to print the patterns off in colour, because I don't know why, but we bought a new printer, and I was like, yeah, I don't need colour. And then like the second time I used it, I was like, oh my god, I use colour so much. It's these 12 things here, and how cute. Guess how many I have made? Half of one. This I feel very shameful coming on here and saying this, because I was really excited. This is what I've done. She even started in September a crochet along group, and I joined it, and I just felt pressure and I hated it. And so yeah, this is all I've made. This is all the pattern pages. I even bought the special Katona yarn to make it all in a very, like fancy sketches, really nice crochet craft box. It was in September, and I was like, yeah, that's so doable. Like, I'll do one a week kind of thing. But I cannot do crochet, like amigurumi, unless I am sat in complete silence, completely alone, like no podcasts, no audiobooks, no music, like nothing. And I'm just like a little, like, I don't know what the word is, like a gremlin, like I'm just like hunched over, concentrating, and then even then I mess up. So it's like, that is not fun, that is not a hobby. Like, so yeah, the bunting, and then that, I just kind of thought, okay, I would rather focus on knitting, and I really want to embroider properly, like images. Every year I really want to do the 365 stitches a day, and I do get excited about it, but then I never do it. So I'm thinking I might start doing it next year, and then I'll get better as the months go on, like, because it's, what else would I practice? But if I do like little embroidered illustrations every day, I'll definitely get better. I feel like it's going to be harder, but also it might be easier. Like, I just want to try it. In my spare time, I'll practice on like a random bit of fabric. But yeah, I can currently only do letters and one stitch. So this video isn't sponsored, but I'm going to put an advert in anyway. So I'm currently using my embroidered names to make knitting bags. So I make the knitting bag and I can personalise it to your name, like say you want to make it for a present or for yourself. So I sew the bag and then I hand embroider your name or your person's names. and then I stitch it onto the bag, and there is a personalised like bag. You can pick any design on the shop, and then I personalise a name on it, so that can be your name, or it can be for a present. The names are all hand embroidered and then sewn on. They are advertised as knitting bags, but obviously it can be knitting or crochet, not for me anymore. So it can be knitting, crochet, sewing, embroidery, cross stitch, like it can be all the crafts, or it can be for your makeup brushes, nail varnish, anything, because you know, it's just a bag. It can be for bag purposes. Anyway, they're £20 each, or personalisation it's 25, and still in time for Christmas as well. So I've spoken about my main reason for wanting to stop crocheting, but I thought I would go into more detail. So I want to focus and learn other skills, like not new skills, because when you're a crafter, you just pick up other crafts without realising. So I learned to knit, and then I was like, okay, I've got cross stitch now. And then I was like, okay, I've got sew. And then I was like, oh, okay, then I've got to try paper piecing. And then I tried punch needle. And then I tried felting. So my main goal is to stick to knitting, learn embroidery, and also sell my bags. And with knitting, I want to expand my skill set. So I want to learn how to knit in the round. I want to learn how to knit socks. I've mentioned on this channel before that you don't have to knit socks, but deep inside my core, I want to knit socks. And this is a great example of having loads of hobbies, because when you have loads of hobbies, I feel, this is my personal opinion, I feel like when you've got a lot of hobbies, you don't perfect them. You just kind of flitter about, like all these little hobbies flittering about. But if you've only got one or two, you can really, really focus in and make yourself better at that hobby. My main goals are to learn more knitting and embroidery, because I really do want to do the 365 days embroidery thing, and I really think it would be brilliant to start off terribly and then just watch my progression like slowly go around. I think that's the best way, and it's the best way to stay motivated, because what else am I going to embroider? Like, it'd be good to have like an actual thing to do. And when I was paper piecing as well, I did a penguin like this big, and then I was like, right, I can do paper piecing now. So this was like during lockdown, like 3 years ago. I was like, okay, I did the penguin, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do this massive project. And when I say massive, it's like this big, and it's not finished yet. It's still in the drawer. It's been there for 3 years. But I should finish it, because every now and then it just pops into my head. And then once I finish that, I can like focus properly on my 3 things I want to do. This video is like, I'm giving up crochet, but I do want to talk about my crochet journey, because it's been quite the experience. So I first started to learn like January 2019 as like a New Year's resolution. I couldn't do it, and even Stephen sat with me and like tried learning with me, and I couldn't, so I just gave up. And then 2021 I tried again, and I got it. And I just felt like such an achievement, like I did it, and I was really, really proud of myself. So for that, I will miss that like part of me, I guess, because I did work really hard for it, but I'm not giving it up. I guess I'm like taking a step back from the crazy amigurumi, hunched over like a gremlin alone, like kind of vibe. I am still currently crocheting my book blanket, which is just granny squares relating to the cover of a book. So I'm still doing that. I think I'm just going to stick to granny squares. So I'm not giving up crochet. I'm just taking a step back, which sounds a lot nicer than I'm giving up. So the things I will miss about crochet are, you can't get amigurumi dolls and toys like you can with knitting. Like you can, but nowhere near as detailed or unique as crochet, because for some reason crochet, you can play about with it more, and you can make such unique things with crochet and knitting, but for some reason there's more crochet things that are unique. And when your hook falls out of crochet, it's like, oh, I'll hook it back in, it's fine. When your needle falls out, your knitting needle, it's like, panic. I am gonna miss that so much. I'm going to miss the easy to count rows, so I can really count crochet rows but not knitting rows. I don't know why. I've been knitting for longer. Like, people always say crochet is easier, and now I can crochet. I don't think it is, unless you're doing granny squares. Like doing things in the round like amigurumi, they are not easy. Knitting is easier. That's all that needs to be said. So I think the main reason I struggle with crochet is because there's so much counting involved as well. And I even struggle with this with some knitting patterns. It's not just crochet. So I think this is just me personally, because like, you know, I probably mentioned it before, but I've got a brain injury. So like for some things like that, like the counting or the keeping track, my brain just like switches off, or it gets confused, overwhelmed. I don't know what it is, but with certain patterns, my brain just can't do them. And like the amount of failure I feel when that happens it's intense. It's intense. I feel like no, I do. I feel like completely useless. Like you can't effing knit this pattern. What's wrong with you? So I was knitting this shawl, and it was lovely. And because I wanted to knit it for my yarn advent as well, because you know I can't do Sophie shawl every single year. So I was knitting it, and it was going really well. And then I don't know what happened. So it's a knit one, slip one, purl one, slip one, which is really easy. But it isn't, because I made like 5 mistakes. The first mistake I made, I pulled the entire thing out and started from scratch. The second mistake, I tried picking the stitches up, but because it was slip-on, it was very hard. The third try, I just asked my mum to do it for me, like pull it out. The fourth try, I cried. I just had a breakdown. And then I tried again. And then on the train on the way back, I made a mistake, so I just gave up. I was gutted though, because it was such a nice pattern. Like it's just nice, but you know, it's gone forever, so I can't think about it. It's okay. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I did kind of ramble on a bit, but you know, as is tradition. And I also want to promote another thing that I am doing. So I am currently running a knitting club on Patreon. So every month you get a surprise knitting pattern designed by me. So you get a knitting pattern each month as a surprise, and you get 2 knitting letters via Zoom. So I do like a mid-month check-in, see how everyone's getting on, and then I do a final check-in at the end of the month to see how everyone got on, and we all share what we've done. You also get access to a private Facebook group, which is like the loveliest group. I mean, I'm saying that because I run it, but it is actually really nice. Everyone's so lovely on there, and most of the patterns I pick, they don't have to be like certain colours or yarn, so it's really interesting seeing what people have knitted with, the colours, the yarn, things like that. And there's lots of process photos. So this month we are all knitting these tiny trees that I've made. So these are my yarn advents. This is the 7th of January. I'm quite behind, but you know, that's okay. Life is busy. So I'm knitting my triangle trees with my yarn advent, and this yarn advent my mum actually got, so we made one each. So this is day 1, and I've bought some cream pom-poms to put on, and then I'm not sure, I might just put random buttons on because they are all different colours, so I'm thinking I might just put buttons on that correlate to the colours. This yarn isn't that soft, but it is holding the shape of the trees very well, so you know, it works out okay. So my plan is to have 25 tiny trees and turn them into bunting or decorations, but I think it would look really cool if they were all like, if it was bunting, I think that would look really cool. Because if it's 25, you could probably actually wrap it around the tree. So yeah, it's Nobody's Needles Knitting Club, and it's £4 a month. It'd be nice if you could join. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say. It's been a while. I'm just gonna say goodbye. Alright, meet you later. Bye. Not crochet you later.